Hello, this is Robert Radford with 50 years of chess. I've got someone I want to bring to your attention. Guy I played not long ago, in 2015. Timothy Jones from the Cabot Chess Club. Tim arrived around about 2013-14 in Bristol from Yorkshire way, I think it was, Sheffield, Doncaster, around that way. He's a little bit older than me, a couple of years, and he's a really nice guy. I like him a lot. He's a very friendly man, and he's a good little chess player as well. He did win the Bristol Major in 2022-23, so that takes some doing, as I know from personal experience. We played a couple of times. This was the first encounter. I was rated then around about 1845, something like that. Tim was around about 1730, 1740, maybe. So let's have a look at the game. Tim was white, and this is how it started. d4, knight f6, knight f3, e6, e3, d5, bishop d3. So Tim's entering into what's known as the Collie system, or the Collie opening, which is a Collie Zucator system with c3, knight d2. It's very similar to London, but the bishop's inside the pawns, not outside the pawns. So I played c5, c3, bishop d3, knight d2, knight c6, castle, c5. I pushed on early with the c5 because I want to expand on this queen side and put him under pressure as quickly as I can before he tries to bust open the middle. So he's gone back to c2, b5, e4. Now this is where he's threatening to push the pawn on and fork the rook, the bishop and the knight. If he forks the bishop and knight, that'd be a problem. So I have to move back e7, e5, knight d7. As long as I don't castle, I shouldn't be in any trouble that side. But if I did castle there, then I would be in trouble, because it's so easy to start pushing up that side, on the king side for white. So he's gone back knight e1, f5. Now it would be to my advantage if he took the pawn, because I'd have a half open file, but I'd also have my knight on f6 again. So he's played g4. So Tim's mixing it up a bit here. He wants to try and open me up, but he's opening himself up at the same time doing it, which is a big risk. g4 is a little bit iffy, a bit suspect, but I played the knight back to f8, so I'm covering the pawn on f5 twice with a pawn and a bishop behind it. So he's gone knight into g2. Nice move. g6, f5. That's looking a little bit better for him now. Bishop b7. I'm going to try and castle queenside, I think. Queen f3, queen b6. Now here Tim made a howler, a big mistake. For those of you watching, I'll give you a second or so to see if you can see what Tim did wrong by playing b4. Can you see it? Well, for those who guessed right, knight takes on b4. Now, he didn't have to take the knight, and would have been better not to, and just gone a pawn down, but he played c takes b, and I played queen takes d4 check. This is really busting his opening up altogether now. King h1, queen takes rook, so he's a whole rook down, which is very serious in this position. So he's gone queen a3, he's open to trap me, so I can't get out. So I got out now, I'll have the chance. Queen to d4, knight f3, there you go, but it's too late, I'm already out. Queen back to b6. Bishop e3. He's getting some compensation because he's getting pieces on good squares now as he's chasing my queen around. Queen c7 and then knight into d4. So he's, despite being a whole rook down, he's blocked up my passed pawns there on d5 and it's stopped me from pushing that pawn out on and pinning the knight to the king with my bishop. So I've played queen across to d7. He cannot now take that pawn on b5. Bishop back to d1. Now I've played in a5. Now this is great because he can't take the pawn because bishop takes queen. So he's gone pawn takes pawn, which is strange. I thought he would have moved his queen away first, but I suppose it doesn't matter that much. But what he's done is allowed me to open him up on his king side, which is great for attacking him. So I've gone pawn takes pawn. This is what he wanted to do, I guess. It was bishop h5, but I just played knight into g6 to block the check. It's not a problem. He's gone back queen to b2. Pawn takes pawn. Queen f2. So if we look at the situation as it stands at the moment, I haven't castled yet, but I've got a great position. Of course, I'm a piece up, and I've got. If you look at the bar on the right, where the king is and the bishop is, where the bishop is, you can see the little red line just on the right of it. That's a halfway between black and white, and who's doing best. Obviously, if that light colour, or what's supposed to be white, went above that bar, then white would be doing really well. But if it's dropped below that and it's a darker, which is black, down below the red line, as you can see on there, I'm doing really well. So I got 3.7 showing on there as for advantage, or minus 3.7 against white's position. So I castle queenside. It's perfectly safe to castle over there, I think. He's brought his rook across to attack this pawn. King up, so I can now move my rook back across if I wanted to. So it was just a sort of manoeuvre, really. I can uncastle as quick as I can castle. He's gone back knight to c2. He wants to try and win that pawn there on b4. Looks as though he's going to win it, but I just played the queen in now to c6. What I'm doing is aligning up my bishop and queen on the a8 h1 diagonal. If a possibility arises where he moves his queen away somewhere off of that second rank, then I would have an opportunity maybe to push on the d pawn to d4, and he can't take it because the queen takes knight on g2 checkmate. So Tim's got to be a bit concerned about that. So he's brought his bishop back. That's a good move. So I played now rook across to a8, attacking this a pawn. So he's attacking my queen by taking the pawn on b4 with his knight. So I've taken the knight. He's rotating with the rook. Let's have another look, see how the situation is. Well, his position would be okay if he had his rook was missing, but it's not. Plus, he's 2 pawns down as well. So my position's even better now. It's 4.5, and if you look on the little bar, it's right down, almost down to where the king is now. So I played rook a3. Got my rook in a very aggressive position across that rank. Bishop c5. Well, it doesn't matter too much because I'm the rook up, and if I wasn't, I wouldn't have done this, but I did this to see if he would make a mistake. I went rook takes bishop. Of course, if he goes queen takes, I can go queen takes, bishop attacking the rook, and then when he moves the rook away, I've got the lovely d4, which is a hitting this queen with the bishop. And it's really strong, so I've got lovely passed pawns there on the c and d file. But he knew better than to do that. He played bishop to d6 check first. The queen, which was quite right. But after this move, d4, because he cannot save this position, I've now got an 8.3 minus against white's position is 8.3 is absolute victory. In any way you want to say it, it's a wipeout. So Tim resigned this position gracefully, and he was unfortunate, but he made a silly mistake which cost him dearly. I just wasn't able to know just how good a player he is because of his error, and this is often the trouble when you play players. If they make mistakes, you don't always find out just how strong they are. You don't get to an end game with them. You don't get right to the end of a game and really get to see how good these players are. But mistakes are what chess is all about. Usually, as always, they say the last one to make a mistake loses. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this game. I've got another one with him I'm going to show you a bit later. So thanks for watching. Bye.